I'm a bad mode, gotta keep it tight. Hold my baby squid, keep him out of sight. Talking about my life, government, stay away. If you drive, I'ma do it my own way. Squid in the ocean, swimming all alone. Ain't nobody telling me where to go. Living free, gotta stay true to myself. No need for interference from anyone else. Squid pro quo, that's the way to be. Living on my terms, setting myself free. I'm out to my baby, protecting with my no government intrusion. I control my life.
Hey guys, it's Squid. Welcome back to the channel. Today is the stream that was supposed to be yesterday. This was the what the hell is our government spending our money on? So those of you who are new to my channel, I give a little spiel. I don't care what your political leanings are. I, technically speaking, I'm a Republican, but I'm more about the leave me the F alone and just let me do me. And so in these political streams, we tend to just pick a topic and expose how stupid our government is. I mean, it's kind of the easiest thing to do. So a couple weeks ago, I started with where our tax money is going, because everybody's been talking about this Trump's government deficiency, whatever you want to call it, whatever you think of it. I'm sorry. It's like 25 degrees outside right now, so I'm like coughing up a storm this morning. Whatever you think about it, it's important to know where our money is actually going. So when people say we're going to cut out programs in the government, it might not be exactly what you think. So we're going to get back into this Rand Paul's Festivus report that he drops every year. This was fiscal year 2023. Yes, I am part of the neutral party. And hey, Steve, how are you? Flash fan, thank you for doing your stuff, your mod duties. Hey, Pop Squid, how are you? David and Cheryl, man, too lazy for this early streams on the West Coast. Good morning, our gorgeous journalist. I technically am not a journalist. I take things that I'm interested in and I talk about it. And that's part of the reason, like, this whole, like, what the hell situation, like, the people who accuse me of grifting and now they're apparently going to sue me for talking about a public case and reading public documents, just make it make sense. But I just take stuff that I'm interested in, the court cases, and I just give my opinion. Like, not necessarily a journalist, but I've seen so much, like Flash fan can tell you. We've gone back and forth on, like, I'll take an article from 3 different publications and we just analyze what our government and our media is just not telling us. So if that makes me a reporter or a journalist, I will gladly wear that title, but I have no background in journalism. My background is in occupational therapy. But this is just fun for me because I like to know these things, and I'm realizing how many people in this world make comments about stuff when they literally have no idea what's actually happening. So it's kind of funny. Like, I saw a tweet yesterday that said Republicans are evil, and it was Nancy Mace calling out Joe Biden for sending $1 billion to Africa to help with natural disaster relief. Okay. Well, we still have parts of, I don't know, I can look out my I can look out my window and see storm damage from Hurricane Helene. There are parts of North Carolina that are still in ruins. There are parts of Florida who are still in ruins, and I got a whole $750 from the government. If you really want to see what my neighborhood looked like, I have a couple of videos that were just damage walkthroughs of my neighborhood when Hurricane Helene hit. So this is like stuff that I want to talk about. And I know that these streams aren't the most popular. Like, I don't have 300 people watching. They don't get the most views. They don't make the most money, but I don't care. That's not why I do this. I do this because I heard Broken Baker when he was on with Megan before I even started my channel, where you can't find content, make content. I couldn't find anybody talking about this, so I figured I would. And it's quite interesting. So we got through part of this last time. And I like, this is from Rand Paul. And whatever you think of him, he provides receipts. And if you know me, you know I like my receipts. You can have any opinion you want, but if you're going to sway anybody or try to educate anybody on your opinion, have receipts. Don't just say an opinion and call it a fact. If you are presenting a fact, have a receipt to back it up. So last time, and I will link this in the chat. Hey, For My Guys. Hey, Dwayne. Peachy. Good morning, Lexi. And yeah, Flash Fan. I'm not gonna. I hate using you as the example, but you're the most obvious one because you've been the most open with me. Flash Fan. If you and I were to put our not qualifications, but like demographics on paper, we are completely opposite. I am getting older. You are still a young man. I am white. You are not. I'm a Republican. You are not. I live in a rural area. You live in a city. We're completely opposite. If you look just on paper. But, and see, I get judged on everything anyway, so I might as well just put my shit out there. Because the one thing I have done with this channel or tried to do is I keep it real. I don't blow smoke up your ass. I present you with the facts. I laugh at them sometimes, but I don't tell anybody what they should think. I present both sides, just like I did in that GA1 video. You love it, you hate it. I basically berated my chat, the people who are 100% pro what the hell's, and I said, for once, put your opinions, whatever you think. You love Lynette, you hate Lynette. You love Jeremy, you hate Jeremy. Just put it all aside and let's talk facts. So, yeah, well, as a city as DC gets, yes, you live in DC. I live in the rural South. Like, you know, yeah. And that's the thing. So when I heard, or I was seeing a lot of tweets and a lot of news articles and things about this Department of Government efficiency, I started looking into where our money actually goes. So I linked, this is what I'm looking at. But Barbadal used this photo to get Paytech protection funds. Yep, you read that right. And there's links so you can see the actual Senate report. Like $659 billion just in interest. Interest. Not anything spent, but just an interest in a year. Like, I'm happy when my savings account makes like $50 in a year. And like 33 million to run NIH's Monkey Island in South Carolina. And that, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that is the same Monkey Island where the monkeys escaped recently. This and somebody made a comment on another video this morning, and I hope they're here or they see this video too, because I made a comment about this one. $6 million. And in my last video, I made a mistake. It's 6 million, not 6 billion. I have to go and comment on that because I was rewatching it the other day and made a mistake. But to promote Egyptian tourism, the Agency for International Development. I mean, the U.S. has spent over 600 or over 100 million in Egyptian tourism so far. I mean, it's fine to help other countries, but we have people in cities living in tents. We have a drug problem. We have a homelessness problem. We have an inflation problem. We have a mental health problem. And this is where that hard-earned tax dollars that the one certain side of the aisle keeps wanting to raise. And this is the kind of stuff that, like, yeah, Runkle of the Bailey has a really good, and if you don't know who Runkle of the Bailey is, he is a Canadian, he's a part of LawTube. He is a Canadian firearms and criminal defense lawyer. He went through a video, he did an 11-minute video, I think it was, about that shooting, and people saying that it was a professional hit, and like he went through the video and it shows that the guy had some firearms knowledge but was not a professional by any means. But I'm not going to speak about his video. If you want to go see it, check out Runkle of the Bailey. It was a really in-depth, like really good analytical video about that situation. But yeah, it's crazy. Welcome to New York. No. The USDA is cutting edge research, and I'm just going through quickly everything that we talked about last time. This is in my politics playlist. And I say I have a politics playlist, but it's not your typical, like, this is what I think like me. It's just, here's some weird information. Like after the hurricanes, we went through FEMA. We watched the RNC together. We looked at articles. We fact checked political ads when those were still, thank goodness, those were like, that is over for a little while. Like I had never been so happy to pay for YouTube Premium. That was the most, that was so worth it to me. Hey Tim, hey Lori, hey Mercedes, and hey Paul. If I didn't say hi to you, I apologize. Yeah, can you walking hot dogs? Is it researchers found Labrador's fur color did not affect their body temperatures after a hot summer's walk. That's it. Taxpayer funded cutting edge study. This is where I think we left off last time. Department of Homeland Security training their employees to be their authentic and best selves. Spawn, how are you? Hello. I just, it's so, just so weird. I just gotta see one thing. I have to go to my YouTube studio for a second. I forgot to pop out the chat. You've been rumbled? Oh no. Oh no, you went to the dark side? I'm just checking to see if some haters are here. There's a hater in the house. Sorry, I've been watching a little too much Wild and Out lately. Flash fan, she is good. She's around here somewhere. I think she's in the living room playing with toys. I have stuff on the TV and she's just relaxing. She was in here playing on the walking on the treadmill earlier. The things my little one does. But if she wants to walk on the treadmill and it wears her out and she actually takes a nap, I'm all for it. Okay. One would think the employees of the Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency would spend their time combating cybersecurity breaches and doing other security-related tasks. Think again. It's part of a 5-year diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility strategic plan. CISA employees gathered for a federally funded workshop where attendees focused on effective strategies to build and sustain a psychological safety that allows individuals to show up to work as their authentic and best selves. I promise you, if there's somebody showing up to work as a furry, I'm going to lose my mind. Oh my goodness. Like, ah. And no, I have an energy drink right here because someone decided they wanted to get up even before Daddy got up for work today. And he got up at 2:45. I hear her running with her iPad, going pad, pad, pad at 3 o'clock in the morning. She did not fall back to sleep until 4:45, and she woke up at 5:45. So, Mama is tired. Mama is tired. So I get that fourth cup of coffee. I'm not a huge coffee drinker. I have cold brew in the fridge, but it's the time of year for a peppermint mocha latte, and since Starbucks sucks and is expensive, I make it at home with cold brew concentrate. Ironically, the workshop coincided with CISA's efforts to suppress protected speech on social media platforms during the COVID-19 pandemic. Even I was censored at the behest of our government speech minders, and all while I thought I was being my best self. Wow. And I can totally see having a training workshop of like an online thing once a year. Like we had at the hospital, we had HIPAA. We had one about like not hidden agendas, but oh my goodness, I can't. Meghan Markle made a big like stink about it. We're like it's perceived notions about people. Um, it's like it's so dumb. I mean, I can see having once a year you have training on this, and you stagger it throughout the year, but it can be a 3-hour online class. It does not need to be government funded. Like someone can make a PowerPoint and you can go do that. Like this does not need to be. So he provides the PDFs. I like that he provides receipts because we go through the receipts. Because you know me, I love my receipts. So, like, and I'm not going to read this whole thing because you can go through it on your own if you're really that interested in it. But like this is not where we need government to spend money. Like, and I'm pretty sure this was expensive. Millions of dollars. Like, but see, they talk about underserved communities all while they're spending millions of dollars overseas. If you really, really give a crap about these communities, these underserved communities in our country, why are you sending money overseas? Can someone make it make sense, please? Not stalking, just watching. Hey, Sylvia. It's funny because it's just hilarious to me. Like, just everything in this world lately is just funny. Yes, we are trillions of dollars in debt. But Flashman, here's the thing. I mean, they mention Black, African American, Hispanic, Latino, Native American. Why, if they're so worried about Mercedes, I I have been too, but this is the first time I've actually like gotten numbers and actually looked at the information available to me. I've started researching and kind of went down rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole. Like if this is you talk a good game with this, they talk a good game, but their execution sucks. I mean, yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, love or hate Trump, you can have your own opinion because I'm not 100% like, you know, I I'm of that mindset where I can like think somebody's good at the job, but I don't have to like them as a person, and I don't have to like everything about them. Um, like Mr. Squid and I don't always agree 100% of the time. That doesn't make me love him any less. So like, yeah, but apparently putting ourselves before everybody else is the problem. Yeah, and Trump is America first. It's not saying, and this is where people take words and twist them. It's not saying screw everybody else. It's how about we take care of the problems here and fix our own house? It's like helping your neighbor fix their house when you don't have a roof on yours. Like, you're gonna you know, when you're in an airplane and you're going through the safety brief and they say, you know, with the oxygen masks, put one on yourself before you help everybody else. There's a reason for that. And I say it almost at the end of almost every video. If you don't help yourself, you can't be the best person to help anybody else. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't help anybody else. You're gonna suck at it. I'm not in America, so I don't really care about the American government until it includes me and my family. When it does, then I'll care. Yeah, but I've noticed that you and Lily said at the moment the UK is the same every other country before us. So like it doesn't just seem to be an American problem, except for, do you notice we send money to everybody else, but nobody gives us money? Nobody comes and helps us when we have natural disasters. I mean, there was an earthquake yesterday. I'm pretty sure that did some damage, even though I heard the epicenter was in the ocean. I'm pretty sure that gives some damage. You don't see like Japan or Mexico or Canada running to our aid to help us rebuild. But yet we're sending money to everybody else to help them with stuff when we have problems here. So it's y'all are right. It's a world issue. It's just one of those things, like, I'm not saying don't help everybody else. I'm just saying, how about we take care of ourselves first? And this is awesome. We have 24 people watching and we have 24 likes. I am floored right now. And thanks, Patrick, for the $2 super chat. Good morning. Sorry I missed that before I got started talking. It's kind of one of those like situations where it's just, yeah, it affects everybody. And because I'm American, I just focus on what's right in front of me and what my government does. It's just so bizarre. Like, I don't. Hey, Gail, thank you. Thumbs up number 25. And this is the stream where, when I checked, we didn't have anybody that down liked it. Yeah. Yeah. We need to be selfish on our country first, then worry about others. Yeah, and this is not just an American thing. Like, I would prefer if the British government would take care of their own people and tackle their own problems before they try to, you know, help everybody else. I'm like that with everybody. This is not just me being an American and being like, we need to help ourselves. No, I think every country needs to help their own citizens before they try to fix the world. We don't need to be the world's police. That's where I'm having the issue. Oh yeah, I forgot this one. Russian cats on a treadmill. funded by part of a $2.7 million NIH grant. After having the brainstem snipped, Russian cats were forced to walk on a treadmill in Russian labs. This is all thanks to the U.S. taxpayers footing the bill. Hey, Spliffly. How are you? First time here, be gentle. Never. Or always, depending on, you know. Russian scientists funded with your money, if you're American, posted videos of their catwalk studies, which showed shaved cats hooked up to electrodes and struggling to walk on a treadmill. Not only is that cruel, but government funded, but there's so many things wrong with this. I don't know which is worse, the fact that they snipped the brain stems and like shaved them and made them walk on a treadmill. That's cruelty to animals. Where is PETA? Where is PETA? Where is PETA when you need them? Hey, Nancy. I don't then, and this right here is when I think of the Department of Government Efficiency that Trump is going to create. When I think we're going to cut government spending, everybody's like, he's going to get rid of Medicare. He's going to get rid of this. He's going to get rid of that. I'm pretty sure that they're going to get rid of this kind of thing. Because that's $2.7 million that, like, because we don't have this money. This is all just being printed. And then the more money you print, the more inflation you get. Economics 101 or maybe 102. Hey, Wilborns. Good morning. These catwalks were part of a $2.7 million National Institute of Health NIH grant given to a researcher at Georgia Tech. That's what makes it even more infuriating. Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech. Like, that is a somewhat prestigious. The institute then subgranted the funds to researchers in St. Petersburg, Russia, a fact first uncovered by White Coat Waste Project in 2021. Funding. This work was supported by Russian Science Foundation Grant 21-15-00235, National Institute of Health Grant, and it says the grant number, for neurophysiological testing. Why cats? Russian Foundation Basic Research Study of bidirectional locomotion. Why? And then they use, medical and anatomical terms to I mean, oh yes, and this one. Yeah. U.S. officials, government paid $38 million to dead people. And, this is where, voter ID stuff and, having an ID and having to prove who you are in order to get, money comes into play. Because this is why. This is why. Because people are fraudulent. The average person, no, not fraud. So I hate when you say that there's fraud and people automatically think that, or automatically say that, well, you're telling, black people or this person or women or this, that you can't do something. I don't know anybody that's too stupid to get an ID. I don't know anybody, and they're free. Most states have you can't get a driver's license for free, but you can get a state issued ID for free. But this, because they're the average person who needs help with things are not fraudsters. However, there are people that take advantage of that situation. this is it. It's a weird situation. I just can't. It's just a weird situation. U.S. officials testified that another $38 million in COVID payments, an average of $83,000 each, went to people Uncle Sam knew were dead. The figures came from the special task force Congress authorized to track COVID payments to the individuals, or from the federal government. Specifically, $10 million was paid to individuals who were already dead on the date someone applied for funding. And I'm sorry, my grandfather recently passed away, and I've and you know the amount of crap that my father has had to go through to wrap up his estate and make sure that his, like, the house is sold, and like all of this. And it the amount of work that he's had to do to prove that he's the only living heir, and he is, like, my grandfather is actually passed away. So the government, when someone passes away, you have to do a lot of work to finish their stuff, whether they have a oh, Lilu, my grandpa is literally right there, like wherever. There we go, right there. I brought him home with me, so he's right there. That's that blue urn. That's why it never moves. It's because it's a person. Kind of funny if you think about it, but like, my father has had to go through hell and high water to get things taken care of. Some things have been relatively easy, and some things have been time consuming and labor intensive to prove that my grandfather is passed away. So the government, when someone passes away, the government is well aware that someone passed away. So for people to apply with people's IDs, like, we even had to turn over his ID. I wanted to keep it because I just think it's cool. Like, like, I have a fake death certificate from him from like 1952. It's just, the government knows when someone passes away, especially if they pass away in a hospital, because the hospital has to report that. So, like, the fact that the government knew these people were dead and still gave them payments, who in the government is supposed to be checking these things is not doing their job. And that's like the person that you need to fire. Because if we have 100 employees and they're still not doing the job, because they're just lazy government employees who are, I learned when I was in the military, you can have the best person and the worst person, and they still get paid the same. So just because people have a government job and get paid well, they're incentivized not to work hard because you don't get paid any extra for doing a great job. You make the same amount whether you are the biggest shitbag in the world or you are a super sailor. So and going through probate sucks. Yeah, I can't even imagine. Like, I can't imagine because you've informed me of every step along the way, but here, most states, I'm not sure about all, but I know Wisconsin and Georgia, they will give you a state issued ID. It's basically, it looks like a driver's license. It's just not a driver's license, for free. Especially if they're a voter ID state. Part of Wisconsin becoming a voter ID state, I believe, was the caveat that you must provide free IDs. That was part of the law. Like, if you're going to require someone to have an ID, you're going to make it easy for them to get an ID. I say easy, you still have to go to the DMV everybody knows how much fun those are. So easy, yes. Pain in the ass and time consuming still. But, you know, if that's the case, how do so many people fake their own demise? There's that guy up in Wisconsin who was kayaking and faked his death. So, and now he's being charged with crimes. So, yeah. And if you disappear, I think it's after 5 years if you're missing. If you're missing for 5 years, they can legally, your family can legally report you as deceased. Because you're missing. The government doled out 1.3 million of your money to 30 individuals who were dead for at least a year, in what fraud inspectors deemed as one of the particularly egregious examples. What? $1.3 million? That was money that didn't need to be spent, or could have been spent on someone else, something else. This was not the first time Uncle Sam tracked taxpayer funds to the mailboxes of the dead. By April 30th, 2020, the U.S. Treasury's Inspector General knew 1.4 billion of 269 billion total was sent out to more than 1 million Americans who filed taxes in previous years and then died, yet still received checks intended as COVID stimulus payments. Not all the funds were recovered, as dead people are notoriously bad about paying up. He puts a sense of humor in this. And he, at the bottom of every page is the links to where he got this information. USAspending.gov is, if you know how to find things in it, is particularly entertaining, or pathetic if you think about it, to find where our money went. DOD's $8,395 lobster tank, not quite the tank to take into battle. We all know the DOD makes purchases for military operations. One would imagine weapons, ammunition, and tanks might be among those purchased items, but according to USAspending.gov, they aren't the kind of tanks you're thinking of. The DOD paid $8,395 for a lobster tank, purchased from a restaurant equipment company in Springfield, Virginia. I understand the military personnel need to eat, but does the DOD really need a lobster tank? I think we can all agree that these aren't the tanks Americans thought their tax dollars were funding. Like, oh boy. I wonder. I do know that, like, approximately 15 million voters disappeared between 2020 and 2024. So I'm not going to make an opinion about that, but, you know, yeah. How to ruin millions of dollars of military equipment, part 1. $89 million worth of engines. Leave them outside. I know, let's store your vehicle engine outside, said no auto mechanic ever. But that's just where the U.S. Army officials improperly stored 80 gas turbine engines valued at $89.16 million. Each of the $1.1 million engines were improperly stored for 3 years. And this is why, although we need a strong military, we don't need all the military funding. Because this is what happens to your money. It's just one of those, like, yeah. Part 2 of how to ruin millions of dollars in military equipment. $12.6 million worth of transmissions. How much does something have to be worth for the U.S. Army to store it properly? Evidently more than $12.6 million. This time, the DOD Inspector General found the U.S. Army improperly stored 135 hydraulic transmissions and it has the national identification number if you really, really want to get down into how much it costs. Valued at $12.6 million outside. Despite the requirements to be stored in a shed, over 1,000 officials told the IG they simply didn't have the room in the shed. So take some of that freaking money and build a new shed. Apparently, the next natural step was to store them in a leaky and improperly made long-life reusable containers. It was in the outside LLRCs that inspectors found transmission stored at excessive humidity levels among standing water and oil. That's the other, yeah, there's the other $1 million question, pun fully intended. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. 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 I made money on deployment, but hear me out. The only reason I made money on deployment is I didn't have rent to pay. I couldn't go to the store. Well, I couldn't really go to the store and shop. Didn't have to spend gas money. Couldn't go out to eat. Couldn't go to the bar. So basically, you're making money and you just can't spend it. There's, yes, we got flight deck pay and then hazard duty pay, which was only like, flight deck pay was only like $150 a month. And then hazard duty pay was only like, I want to say $220, $225, but we only got it when we were in the Gulf. Like once we left the Gulf, we didn't get it anymore. So it was like you had to be in that area. So the only reason I made money on deployment was because I was getting this same amount, little tiny bit more, but I couldn't spend anything. You couldn't spend $50 on a bar tab. Well, we didn't have Uber back then, but a taxi to get home. Like, it's just, things weren't as, sorry. I was switching back to this tab and I saw my text message, like my messages app was open, and I'm in a group message with a couple people. And they're sending messages back and forth right now, and they're funny. I love them both. But they're sending messages, and one of them shared a picture, and I just saw it and started giggling. Okay, I need to just close that app right now. Like, oh boy. Okay, on that note, let's get back to this. And the last stream, and I'm still getting used to how to run these streams without just reading and going and reading and going. Last time was it was the first time I did it, and it was a little unorganized. So I'm just kind of going to just go down the list, and then we'll go to usaspending.gov and we'll, here's part 3 of how to ruin millions of dollars in military equipment. $68 million worth of military tank and vehicle treads. Third and final example, until next year. The Department of Defense, DoD, running expensive military equipment revolves around military tanks and tank treads. The DoD Inspector General cataloged 117,534 vehicular track shoes valued at $68.29 million left outside in the open air. They were not covered or stored properly at all. The Inspector General said over 1,000 military officials did not follow the military's own guidance on storage. And people wonder why the military has a literal book for everything. It's because common sense does not apply. And even when you would think that these would need to be stored inside, or at least covered by a tarp at the bare minimum. They have guidance on how to store them, and officials, soldiers, leadership still can't do it. So it's just, it was, flash fan, from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. I have my phone on do not disturb. So I get no notifications in the middle of the night. 7 a.m. my phone blows up because I get all the notifications that I didn't get overnight. So the Bradley, Stryker, and Abrams using soldiers, along with the taxpayers that fund their vehicles, deserve better. At least we know they'll be in real military vehicles, not lobster tanks. He's trying to have a sense of humor, and it's a little dry, but it's kind of funny. And then he has his source. Real fake. DHS's graphic novel about disinformation. Oh yeah, good point. Well, yeah. So this was 2023, so fiscal year 2022. So, hey, two awesome dogs, how are you? The Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, same thing we talked about earlier. The Department of Homeland Security agency that made itself an arbiter of misinformation during the COVID-19 pandemic created a series of graphic novels called the Resilience series. And yes, I am using the word COVID YouTube, but I'm literally reading from a government document. So the first series was called Real Fake, and featured a foreign operation created to spread misinformation about U.S. Senator impact U.S. elections. Misinformation is not a joke, but it is especially not funny when bureaucrats in the federal government are determining what is and what isn't considered misinformation, all under the guise of protecting Americans. Yes, they use this fake moniker that they actually give a crap. The only people they give a crap about are themselves. That's why, even though they don't make millions of dollars, somehow people go in to Congress as normal people, rich, but normal rich, like doctors, lawyers, and they come out millionaires. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Ouch. I broke my pinky toe back in the day, and I know that freaking sucks. So ouch. Feel better. I mean, I hope you have them buddy taped together. You're going to walk funny for a while, but it's the only way to keep it from hurting every second of the day. Yeah, they always use this fake thing of they give a crap about us, and they really don't. Let's be honest. Whether you're a Democrat, independent, Republican, libertarian, upside down, backwards, sideways, you go by any pronoun under the sun, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. Hey, Michelle. Oh no. Well, that might be sometimes my voice gets a little, someone commented I don't have the voice for you, or that they don't have the voice for YouTube, and I was like, I don't have the voice for YouTube either, but I do it anyway. DHS's second graphic novel. They're making graphic novels about something that they could make a PowerPoint about. If they're really that determined to do it, make a PowerPoint. Have it as you need to read this and take the quiz by next Friday at 5 p.m. This does not need to be a graphic novel. I mean, if they still wanted to do it, you know how much money that would save? And how many trees that wouldn't kill? Oh, you're fine for YouTube. DC Comics won't be adding these taxpayer-funded comic books from America's Cyber Defense Agency to their repertoire anytime soon. Using the tired old trope that, quote, disinformation campaigns are a direct threat to our democracy, the fact that we're not a democracy is even funnier. Yeah. Hey, T1. Have any $25 bolts? No, but I have a $700 clock. It's about the size of It's about the size of half of a can of energy drink. And it's $700. And that was in 2007. So I can only imagine what that clock is worth now. Yeah, as a direct threat to our democracy. What isn't a direct threat to our democracy? Our own government is a direct threat to our quote unquote democracy, which is actually a constitutional republic. And yes, there is a difference. CISA spent time and money telling people what to believe about COVID vaccines and helping people to suppress debate and discussion about the new vaccine technology and its potential side effects. CISA's latest graphic novel even dips into the conspiracy theory, dip your toe into that Russia created a, quote, disinformation pandemic around COVID. In fact, few did more to cause mistrust than U.S. government and its cover-up experts like Dr. Fauci, who we now know pushed disinformation on masks and vaccine efficacy, while, some words my brain just does not compute. And this is one of them. Our government's involvement with dangerous gain-of-function coronavirus research. Yeah, and here's the thing. Those masks that you wear, like the basic surgical mask, that does not protect you from anything. That protects everybody else from you. The only mask that protects you is either like a respirator and N95. That basic mask does not protect you from anything. It's one way. It keeps things from going out. That's why you can still breathe. Like, because it keeps things from going out. So he was talking about the ingredients in and Flashman, I can show you the clip later, but basically the long story short was he was talking about the ingredients in vaccines, and they are disinfectants. And I think he said something along the lines of disinfectants like bleach, because some of the chemicals that are in bleach are some of the same chemicals that are in vaccines. And the media twisted it and said that he told people to drink bleach. And that's why I hate the media. Because then you get stupid people, like not misinformed people. I mean straight up stupid people who think it's a good idea to drink bleach, where no one should ever think it's a good idea to drink bleach. Because those chemicals in bleach are so concentrated, where not that, and I'm not getting into the safety of vaccines. You can check VAERS, do research for yourself. You do what you want to do. But the concentrations that are in vaccines are so low that they're deemed quote unquote safe. So I'm not saying that vaccines are safe. I'm not saying that they're not safe. I am not putting any information out there like that, because that is a personal decision for everybody. But people, yeah. And I think when he said that, he looked at Dr. Birx and like got her confirmation, or he looked at somebody that was standing behind him and got their like confirmation that yes, and he literally said something along the lines of, I'm not a doctor, but some of the same ingredients. And they literally, yeah. Just like ivermectin, the other thing you can't talk about. Ivermectin has been a prophylactic forever, since the 60s, given to people to prevent parasite infections. It also is used in animals. And that's where the media went horse paste. horse dewormer. Yes, but we got to think, like, gabapentin is given to people and it's also given to animals. Penicillin, given to people, given to animals. Different concentrations, different levels, and different for different things. But like the Angel, you took all the doors out of there, didn't you? You sassy pants. Oh. So hey Bad Duck, how are you? Our taxes went up the butt as usual. Yeah, pretty much. Thank you for the $2 super chat. So that's Flash Fan. That's when I first started being like, the media, you're dumb. Like, the media is stupid. The media is lying to us, because it's like working in a hospital. I had patients that were on medications that were like, when they got that medication, some of them were like, oh, I gave that to my dog last year. Like, because just because they're good for one species doesn't mean they're bad for another. They're some crossover. Oof. And like, I know people that took the Johnson & Johnson one and got like severely ill. So yay. Yeah, doing light work. Light work today. Yay. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you, my friend? And Bad Duck, for those of you who are new to the channel, I know that when people who have been my OGs have come to the channel and they troll me, people have gotten defensive of me because, and I appreciate that, because of all the other stuff that's going on in the real trolls. Bad Duck tends to troll, but he's hilarious and he's a friend. So he's actually been on my channel, like on my channel. So Bad Duck, a troll. He's a troll, but he's a friendly troll. He's not a troll from the flea bags. And Bubbles, who apparently I'm the next on the list to just a spontaneous joke maker. Bad Duck, Jingleberry showed up for the first time in a long time a couple weeks ago and made a comment that I understood, and some people went after her, and I'm like, no, she's an OG. She was here when I had like 15 subscribers. Free. Hey, Cat and Kern, how are you? What troll? A fellow AT? Yeah, and AT1 trolls me because we did the same job. Like, yeah, Flash Fan, I know you, but some people who are new here, and I appreciate the fact that they defend me. I appreciate it. It's just some people just troll me because that's how my friends do. Like, we just like I'm pretty sure if 18-1 and I met in person, I would tell him what up, mofo, and he'd be like, he'd be fine. But like, that's how we communicate. Like, that's just what we do. Who's Picker? I just got the bestest news. Good for you. If you want to share, feel free. If not, I completely understand. All right. First Amendment is kryptonite for our government censors. Yes, they forget about that pesky First Amendment. How dare we? I didn't need to update your channel, Fever Shot. That is the best news. Not the last part, but you thought it, and I take it that it's not happening. You're good. Yay! Well, it's good that they didn't. Oh, I'm so happy for you. NIH-funded researchers at the University of Mississippi Medical Center gave lab monkeys meth in the morning, tracked the monkeys' sleep habits through implanted wire leads running subcutaneously from the head incision to the eye orbit, exiting the eye orbit from underneath the upper eyelid. The study was founded by portions of NIH grants and brought to my attention by the White Coat Waste Project. And I need to look into more about the White Coat Waste Project. You know, the stuff in bleach they put in water to make it safe to drink. I guess we do drink bleach in a way. That's a good point. Like, it's a really good point. We get squid derailed. I've still got it. Yes, Flash fan, you do. Let me get back on track here. Because I only want to make these streams an hour to an hour and a half because of the fact that they are in depth and they are they take a little bit more cognitive functioning than me reading you an entertaining or talking about an entertaining court case. This is actually stuff that affects you and is deep and is sometimes hard to follow. So I like to keep these political streams a little shorter so that, like, I don't want to burn you out with facts, you know? Over 100,000 Americans die of meth overdoses each year as these dangerous drugs pour across our nation's open borders. Our nation's first responders and families across the country struggle every day to fight this drug epidemic, and yet NIH approved a portion of approximately $12 million in NIH grants to test the sleep habits of monkeys given meth in the morning. I don't normally respond to mofo, but I will to AT1 asshole. Well, you know, like, I'll respond to anything but late for dinner. $400 million pot of cash for political campaigns. Every year, the IRS reroutes incoming tax payments to fund set aside for U.S. presidential campaigns. The account is funded by $3 IRS tax return checkbox. Since 2008, no major political party's candidate for president has accepted the funds. As of November 1st, 2023, $400.6 million sat unused in the presidential election campaign fund account. Why do we provide unused and unnecessary welfare for politicians and their presidential campaigns? It's time to scrap the wasteful presidential election campaign checkoff program. I mean, that would be a good idea to start. And that's one of the reasons I want to do it, is because, like, I started looking into all this stuff and I thought I was pretty knowledgeable on some topics. And then I started looking into it and it's like, if I don't know this stuff, how many other people don't know this stuff? It's just third reinspection September. I had no idea they were coming. Said they sent notice. We never got it. Of course, they probably never sent it. Hold on one second. My little one is yelling. I'm pretty sure I need to get just getting here from Mo stream. Oh, I have to go and be on replay crew for that. I love Mo. She's amazing. I will be right back. I'm going to check on the little real quick. Let me...
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun, as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, every shot from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.
right, I'm back. My water refill. And she got her way into the Cottonelle wipes. I love it. She gets into something. At least it's something that'll keep her clean. How is everybody doing? Yeah. What? No squats. This is bullshit. Yes, everybody, including me, needs to do your squats to get your steps in. Like, how are you this morning, hey Joe? Flash friend, I went to Aldi and I started shopping at Aldi's because stuff is expensive. I bought these like organic protein bars for myself. I have yet to actually eat one. I went back again yesterday. That's her new favorite snack. She thinks it's a chocolate bar. I'm like, okay, you think it's a chocolate bar? It's got protein in it. I will, I do too. I don't know why I don't shop there more often because the only other options I really have are the local grocery store here in town, which is the only one. Family or Dollar General, Walmart, which is a half an hour away, or Aldi's, or Food Lion. Food Lion is getting super expensive. Yeah. Sickened our government hates us. They really do. No appreciation for the facts that money is taken from us. I know. I know. Pork schnitzel is the best I ever had. You know they have pork butts there? Like, they have Smithfield pork butts. I'm like, that's what we're making for Christmas because we were supposed to make it for Thanksgiving and we didn't. So, yeah. But we're not traditional. We're gonna have pulled pork for Christmas dinner. And reading some of these, like, yeah, they don't see themselves as stewards of somebody else's money, and they're also, a lot of them have been rich their entire lives. For example, most of them are lawyers. Law school isn't cheap. Most of them came from money. Even Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez came from a upper middle class, went to a private school. Like, just, they're so out of touch with the person who lives paycheck to paycheck. They're so out of touch. We have Publix now too. Like, Publix is a half an hour away, but like, Food Lion is not as cheap as it goes. Food Lion, Walmart, Aldi. You know. What's your question? And you can always email me if you guys have questions that you want to ask me, like healthcare wise. I'm not a doctor. I'll never claim to be your doctor or your therapist, but I can provide my opinion on the situation. Food Lion, Eco Palms. Oh, coupons. Walmart. Yeah, when I went last week, the people of Walmart were really people of Walmarting. It's like, what in the Walmart rapture? Hey, I'm not too far away. South Carolina is only like a 40-minute drive. So why don't blind people go bungee jumping? I have no idea. Am I being asked riddles? Because I was asked a riddle this morning. So, Walmartians, because it scares them. So I was asked a question this morning. Well, I wasn't the only person. In a group chat, somebody asked a question. Question for y'all. You're driving along and all of a sudden an old man and a child step out into the road. What do you hit first? I said the brakes. Oh my goodness. All right. This one will probably be one of our last ones. How many pages is this? Well, we'll try to get through what we can. If we can finish this whole one, we'll go to 2022 next time. NIH's monkey casino, gambling for drinking water. What? Two lab monkeys at the University of Minnesota faced high stakes as their access to drinking water hung in the balance contingent upon their willingness to embrace what researchers termed gambling. To study the region of the brain that impacts risk-taking choices, parts of the monkeys' skulls were removed and their brains were injected with tracers and monitored as they gambled between two different options presented to them on two screens. Test subjects were given a low-risk, low-reward choice and a high-risk, high-reward option, with the monkeys choosing risk over reward more than 70% of the time. The study funded under an NIH National Institute of Mental Health $1.9 million grant and an NIH National Institute of Drug Abuse $1.8 million grant, gambled that this monkey study was a good use of taxpayer funds. I'm not a gambling man, but I'd bet with confidence that the American taxpayers disagree. Not only do I find this not worthwhile for that much money, but I also find this just a little bit of a animal abuse. I'm not in Florida, but we have one in the bigger town that I go to where I go grocery shopping. It's expensive. It's kind of like if you live in Wisconsin, it's kind of like a Sendik's, or a Trader Joe's. It's bigger than Trader Joe's. It's about the size of like a regular grocery store. Like a Kroger, but it's more along the lines of a Sendik's or a smaller, more expensive stuff. Sometimes they have really good sales, but for the most part, their stuff is just a little bit more expensive. I find this to be somewhat of an animal abuse, not just a waste of money. And why was it that it's so expensive? Like $1.8 million. Did that whole $1.8 million go to this? Where'd the money go? Like SBA's $200 million ticket to backstage. When local concert venues and family-owned theaters were forced to shut down during the pandemic, distributing financial relief was left to the Small Business Administration. The Shuttered Venue Operators Grant Program was supposed to provide a lifeline to small entertainment businesses nationwide. Sadly, but not surprisingly, the SBA failed to deliver. Shocker. Business Insider identified dozens of famous music artists that their touring companies that received over $200 million through the program. So-called small business owners such as Post Malone, Lil Wayne, Chris Brown, and Smashing Pumpkins received up to $10 million each, while Nickelback received $2 million. While some may claim these funds were used to keep supporting staff, artists were not required to do so. We have no way of determining how these blank checks were used. These multimillionaire musicians were cashing checks instead of the intended recipients, America's small businesses. I mean. Hey, Carrie. I'm late for a very important date. I hope everyone's doing great today in the Squid House. We are doing okay. We are just a little attached to our device today, which is not, when she runs at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning to get her iPad, that's a problem. So, although she plays educational games on it, like a Leapfrog would, and she FaceTimes Grandpa on it and stuff, it's still, but I can't really get mad at her because, it's my fault. But that's why we have quiet time, and she has a whole bunch of non-electronic toys. So when that is not appropriate to use, or she's not using it, she has non-electronic toys. Studying COVID-19 misinformation on social media in Black and rural communities using $3.8 million in NIH funds. Throughout the pandemic, NIH, an agency that suppressed its own involvement in funding dangerous coronavirus research, labeled any COVID dissident as misinformation. Part of this country that's great is the fact that we can have disagreements. We don't agree on everything. There's not a group think. We aren't supposed to be told what to think. You're supposed to, and I'm not saying that I'm the hallmark of this, because I still impart my opinions, but like I give people the facts, the places to find the facts, and y'all are adults. Y'all can do what you want with the information and gather what you want from it. I'm not trying to tell you what to think. I just tell you where to find the information. So it's just interesting that like part of the part that makes this community great, or this country great, is that we're all different. No two people are alike, and we all can, we all can come together and agree to disagree. And it's just one of those things of like, yeah, how dare you accuse me? Yeah, I know. Well, adults wear, I see no adults. Yeah. Age and mentality are two different things. And my sense of humor is like a 12-year-old girl, or a 12-year-old boy for that matter. Yeah. Shocking. A bunch of virtuous signaling, some scumbag music artists who tell the U.S. how to live are, in fact, thieving bastards. Color me shocked. Oh, boy. Yeah, and it's... Okay, so... And, I peruse Twitter now and then looking for stuff for the Unhinged on the internet streams. And, like, I see people wanting Trump to fail. I didn't like Biden. I don't like Biden. I don't like Biden's personality. I don't like his policies. I think he's a shitbag. However, I don't want him to fail. Because if he fails, I fail. So the people who actively want Trump to fail, it's like, do you understand? Do you understand that if he fails, you fail? Because he literally has the power to make your life harder or easier. So if you want him to fail, you are saying that you want to fail, which I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. I feel that it's double standards. Go after the insurrectionists, but let the others go. No consequences. That's wrong. Yeah. And what was it? Was it Portland or Seattle that they went into the federal building there? So that is an actual insurrection. They tried to take it over and burn it down. So I can tell you his first name starts with a B and ends with a K. Saying. NIH is now specifically targeting the COVID opinions of Black and rural communities, as a $3.8 million University of Pennsylvania study is investigating COVID-19 misinformation exposure on social media among Black and rural communities to help, quote, identify and combat misinformation. In this study, researchers examined social media posts with a specific lens on race. Why do we have any lens on it? Portland. Okay. I knew it was somewhere on the West Coast that wasn't California. I just couldn't remember. J.K.D. Buck, I don't know why you said that either, but I ain't mad at you. When the study began in September of 2022, much of what the government and social media called COVID misinformation relating to masks, vaccine efficacy, and virus origins is what is simply called true this year. Will the truth complicate their 5-year COVID misinformation study? Sweet baby Jesus. This one I didn't even see when I went through this quickly. Dr. Fauci's $477,121 transgender monkey study. Oh. Well, the only thing that's positive about that is the fact that he is in liberal New York City and wasn't convicted. So there's, yeah, hung jury. It's unfortunate, but because it's in liberal New York, it could have been worse. Yeah, I hate double standards, which is one of the, yeah. Me too. Daniel Penny is the Marine veteran that was on the subway, and someone who was mentally ill was threatening people, and he put him in a headlock to prevent him from attacking anybody, and he unfortunately passed away. He is being tried with murder, while the other people who were involved never got charged. He's the only one, and he is a white blonde guy. So, and they are using it, they are calling him a racist, among other things, because the victim, or the person who was threatening people, was black and had been arrested 40 sometimes. So, yeah. And my internet, I'm getting a low internet signal, so if I'm blurry or robot sounding, let me know. We have, I think this is the last, we have a couple more pages of this, and then we'll be done with this stream. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. The person who unfortunately lost their life, and it's always sad when someone loses their life, no matter if they were the perpetrator or an innocent victim. There's always some level of sadness that goes into it, because they're, at the end of the day, they're still human. Morning, David. But yes, he was threatening everybody on the subway. Doesn't matter. He wasn't threatening white people. He wasn't threatening he was threatening everybody that was there. So, yes, the overall effect is that nobody will ever intervene to help New York City subway passengers. Yep. Transgender monkey study. Let's get into this. Under Dr. Fauci and a National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, NIAID, was back in the business of wasting your money and torturing animals, of course. This time, instead of tormenting puppies with ravenous sandflies, a Florida lab is trying to feminize male monkeys. That's right, the NIAID is using $477,000 of your taxpayers' dollars to fund the forced feminization of male rhesus. That's a type of monkey. I just don't know what type of monkey. What did we do? Hold on, I will be back. Talk amongst yourselves. Thank you. She was bored, needed a new toy. She was just looking at her toys and like tapping it. She needed something to do. So she's right here with a new toy. Thanks, Gail. Yeah, that's the weird thing that the haters are like, you're on the internet instead of watching. Okay, I will turn it on. Bring it here. Oh, okay. Here you go. Yeah. I understand, no need to explain, but it's just funny to me how they always say, like, you're on the internet, you should go take care of your daughter. I am home 24 hours a day. I'm with her 24 hours a day. People. Like, what if I had a job where I was working 8 hours a day outside the house? Nobody would have a problem with that. But it's because I'm home that people have a problem. It's funny how that works, right? At least one person has a brain, yeah. And she has a flashlight, so if you see weird, that's why. All right. Utilizing taxpayer funds from NIAID, a Florida lab sent out to examine what would happen if female hormones were given to male monkeys. After receiving the hormones, biopsies from the forced feminization, male monkeys were tested to see if they were more susceptible to HIV. The lab worked to make male monkeys transgender to address social injustices suffered by transgender people, such as transgender women, individuals who were assigned male at birth but expressed their gender along a female spectrum. Critics note that monkeys themselves are not susceptible to HIV and argue injecting the male monkeys with female hormones is unlikely to yield relevant information or to help humans. I agree. Yeah, isn't that right? Yeah, if an absent mother, yeah. Yeah, I heard hung jury. Whoopsie. I am happy that Rand Paul has some sort of sense of humor. It may not be everybody's sense of humor, but at least he has one. A politician with a sense of humor is yeah, exactly. Make it make sense. Yes. When you figure it out, let me know, because I haven't quite figured it out yet. Oh no. 236 billion in improper federal payments. Can you imagine having a line item for your personal checkbook for improper payments? This year, the Biden administration sent a whopping 236 billion in inaccurate checks. She's talking to her toy, not me. She has a pen flashlight, and she's tapping her puzzle each piece. If you could see her face right now, she is so focused. She has that like bottom lip out, like, and she's just like she is so focused. Beautiful. Yeah, she's not even looking at me when I talk to her. Oh boy, we'll have to do a deep dive into that, attorney. Ugh. I don't know. If you can teach a baby to do sign language, you can teach a monkey. Federal law defines the term as payments made by the government to the wrong person in the wrong amount or for the wrong reasons. Fiscal year 2023's whoopsies were originally only down slightly from fiscal year 2022's 247 billion in improper payments, which came to $675 million a day. Well, and here's the thing about that is, like, I'm sure, like, I'm good with cutting down the salary of the CEO when your employees make minimum wage and you make $15 million in a year. However, I'm sure if most businesses that you would consider a corporation, like for me, example, I get super chats and like I have to pay $45 in StreamYard a month, YouTube Premium, so that when we're watching a trial, we don't get ads. Like, I improve my equipment. Like, things are, since I'm on the computer more, the electricity bill is higher. Like things are different. So like no, this is Auntie Savannah's Christmas gift. No ma'am. No ma'am. Here, you can hold on to the package, but I know, baby. You can have Mommy's, but that's Auntie Savannah's. Yes. This is Auntie Savannah's. You can play with the package. Just, yeah. So I got my sister-in-law a Stanley Cup, a new one, but I got the straw covers, and she's playing with a package of like the straw covers. Yeah, YouTube takes 30% of all super chats and stuff like that. So although they don't like saying it, I have a Venmo and a PayPal and a Cash App too. So, you know. Some of the most alarming improper payments below: Medicaid, federal pandemic unemployment assistance, earned income tax credits, paycheck protection program and loan guarantee, American Opportunity Tax Credits, VA purchasing long-term services and supports. 2021 saw a total of $281 billion in improper payments, largely due to massive COVID overpayments. Yeah, the super chats do really help, but the ad revenue helps as well. So that's why I was in such a big deal to it's not much, like it's 10 cents here, 20 cents there, but like it does really add up to, you know, gas money and you know, things like that. Like I am a tiny little channel. I don't make, you know, I don't have Brandon Lesko throwing $100 super chats at me on a daily basis like Jeff does, but you know, yeah, they take out taxes too. So, yeah. Oh, watch hours, I'm fine. That video yesterday got me 1,000 watch hours, so, or 1,500 watch hours. So, like, watch hour wise for the year, like, I'm good. I will never be as big as Emily D. Baker. Like, that woman has like 800 and some odd thousand subscribers now. But if I could get to like 10,000, that would be amazing. That would be like, holy crap, how did I do this? So we are on our last page. $171,000 flashback. The government likes gambling monkeys. In 2014, the late Senator Tom Coburn, Republican from Oklahoma, published his annual waste book, exposing, among other waste, a $171,000 National Sciences Foundation study, Making Monkeys Gamble. As I've highlighted, 9 years later, the NIH is still actively studying the gambling choices of monkeys. Can we get out of the monkey gambling business already? Like, just, like, I mean, really, guys? Like, so there was fiscal year 2023. We haven't even gone through the website of, well, we went through it a little bit last time, but like, we didn't even scratch the surface on usaspending.gov. It is a, let's put it this way, interesting experience. So I will just show you the homepage, and you can search all awards and learn where your money went. But the thing is they don't make it easy. They make it complicated because nothing with the government can ever be easy. It takes one person to do the job and 50 people to tell you how. So on that note, I'm going to call it a day. It's been over an hour and a half. We are going to stop with this for now because it's such a big topic. That's why I'm breaking it up into pieces. I am going to redirect you. Let's see. YouTube Studio. We are going to go we are up to 1714. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to see both Mr. Coop and they simul stream or dual stream or however you want to call it. So I think that this time we are going to go to Georgie's. Redirect. We are going to go to the Wilborns. So usually Mr. Coop is what pops up on my home screen, so that's generally where I end up. But since I know that they simul stream, we are going to we're going to hit up Georgie this time. I have to make sure. I always forget to hit save. So if I don't hit save, it literally doesn't work. So like, yeah, Gail, which is hilarious because when the douchebaguettes started talking about me, I only had 645 subscribers. So I literally have Robert James, thank you for the $2 super chat. Sorry for dropping in the joke. Oh, you're fine. You're totally fine. I will definitely give her hugs from y'all. She is not happy right now. I think she dropped something and can't find it. So you're headed over to Georgie's stream. Say hi, and I will see you guys in a bit. Bye. And remember, if you don't take care of yourself, sometimes you have to look out for number one in order to take care of anybody else. Love you guys. Bye.